Hi everyone, Karen here from Holistic Essentials Therapy and Consulting, bringing to you this week's energy forecast and spiritual insights for Monday the 21st of June through to Sunday the 27th of June 2021. So we are celebrating here in the Southern Hemisphere today the winter solstice. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, then you are celebrating the summer solstice today. Depending, of course, the dates can differ wherever you may be. So it's really interesting to me actually today. It's winter solstice here in the Southern Hemisphere. And we've had a beautiful sunny weekend, but today there's a real fog and mist that is around. And you know, it's quite late in the morning. It's nearly 10 a.m. here, Australian Eastern Standard Time. And I just find and feel intuitively that this is so symbolic of the call that we have with the winter solstice. The veil is very, very thin between the realms. So, you know, our ability to tap into our intuition, to connect with our loved ones in spirit, to access multidimensional realms is thin. Therefore, easily and more powerfully accessible to us. And I just find that, you know, this real misty essence, it reminds me of, you know, back in the day and when we're embracing our beautiful feminine and really in communion with nature and the elements and the seasons and the moon cycles. I just have this clear image of, you know, being in our beautiful goddess gowns and flowers around our heads, celebrating this auspicious time in nature amongst the trees under the moonlight and this beautiful foggy mist that's around. It just feels very old worldly to me. And so, what is it we're being invited to do winter solstice? You know, it's a time of hibernation for us in the Southern Hemisphere. It's a time to go within, to retreat, to harvest. You know, we're harvesting, we're filling our cupboards, our pantries, log fires, mulled wine. It's this time of how can we warm and retreat, nurture and honor ourselves. Of course, in the Northern Hemisphere, it's celebrating the shortest day of the year. In the Southern, it's the longest night of the year, the longest day of the year. So in the Northern Hemisphere, you know, you've got springtime and celebration and you're watching your seeds bloom and blossom and flourish. For us in the Southern Hemisphere, we are planting those seeds. This is a time of really going inward and reflecting on what is it that I'm wanting to create? What is it that I'm wanting to bring into this life? And it's not instantaneous. Throughout this time of hibernation, we are allowing ourselves to rest, to heal, to acknowledge the growth that we have already achieved. You know, we're always on to the next best thing, the next big thing. What's next to do on my list? And we don't often celebrate or take time to really acknowledge the growth that we've already accomplished. You know, if you were to look, my invitation to you for this winter solstice is to take some time to look at where you were 12 months ago, to look back to where you were 3 years ago, to look back to where you were 5 years ago, and ask yourself, how have I changed internally? How have my beliefs changed? Have I made external changes in my life? Have my relationships changed? Do I feel different? Are my beliefs and my views different to what they were then? What have I learned about myself, about life, about the spiritual soul aspect of myself? What is the growth that I have achieved? Because often we don't see that growth. Other people will, but we don't often acknowledge that growth because it just feels like it's just a natural progression. And we don't often realize how exponential that has been. This week also, we are moving into the Cancer season, and in alignment with the solstice, really tapping into that Cancer energy to ground. And we're being asked to nourish and nurture ourselves, to tune into our intuition. And really, we're being invited to look at, well, is my life in alignment with my internal values, truth, and belief? How am I showing up in the world? Am I being true to myself? And of course, this week also, we have 4 planets that are in retrograde: Saturn, Jupiter, Pluto, and Neptune. And so with the veil being thin with the winter solstice or the summer solstice, Neptune is also bringing in a softer energy because, we're still feeling the effects of coming out of the crazy eclipse season. And so there's a further lifting of the veil with the influence of Neptune. And Neptune is revealing to us what is hidden, what's behind the veil. What's all this smoke and mirror stuff? What's behind the smoke? What's behind the fog? As the fog lifts, I love how nature comes to play in all that we do. When the fog lifts, what is there going to be? What am I going to see? What is there for me to see beyond the mist, beyond the fog, beyond the veil? What is the truth behind the illusion that is there waiting for me to witness, observe, and recognize? So I hope that those messages serve you well. If you would love to, one day I'm not going to use that deck apparently. One day I'll shuffle all of the cards. Oh, I love how Spirit play, and it's about being playful. Thank you, beautiful message, Spirit. It may feel heavy. We're shifting out of the heaviness of the intensity of all of the eclipse seasons. Anything that occurs can be shifted and reframed into a message from Spirit in the universe. I love it. So bring some lightness. How can you bring some lightness in? That may be physically getting out into the sun, walking on the beach, having that fresh air of salt air, being in water. How can you bring in some playfulness and some lightness and magic into your week? So of course, if you'd like to dive more deeply into the energies of the next upcoming super full moon, which we have this week in Capricorn, that's, bringing an even more intense energy. The 24th, 25th, later in the week, we have that occurring. So if you'd like to dive more deeply into the next 4 moon cycles that we have, then I would love to have you join me in my Lunar Alchemy program, where we'll get together live via Zoom, and I will bring through the guidance from my beautiful guides and the light beings that I work with to assist you in harnessing and working with those energies, as well as sharing with you a meditation that is aligned to those energies at that time. So for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so today obviously is being Monday, what is there for us? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Now, this is not only for the people in your life, but even as a highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive being, it's so important to set boundaries. Boundaries with spirit, boundaries with your guides, boundaries with people. Have boundaries, people. Otherwise, what happens is you then become the vessel for everyone who needs something. Whether it's they need time, or they need advice, or they need support, or they need help, or they want energy and they don't consciously realize that they're sucking your energy from you. It's so important to have boundaries. For years, I had a nighttime rule at 9 p.m. every evening. My message to the spirit realm was activating my nighttime rule because I wanted to have a deep sleep. I didn't want to be woken up in the middle of the night with energy and spirit and activity in my room. It was like activating my nighttime rule now. Thank you. Because spirit have to honor those boundaries. They just do. They love you. Of course they're going to honor your boundaries. People need to understand that you have boundaries. I would love to support and help you with this. I will be available at this time. You know, boundaries is also not always freely giving your advice. You can ask first, what do you feel or think that you need to do? What do you think you need to do? What have you done already? What would you like from me? How can I support you? And then you're actually empowering the other person to inward reflect, to take responsibility, to take action. Always being the yes person, it might feel good at the time, but eventually it's going to take a toll energetically on you, and that will manifest as a physical form in your body. Exhaustion, tiredness, achy joints, lethargy, resentment. You know, you start to get resentful when people don't respect and value your boundaries. But how do they know what your boundaries are if you're not setting them in place? I feel like that's a very powerful message for you this week. And even saying yes to you, that's a boundary. I'm important. I'm of value. My time is precious. My everything is precious. I am of value. And if I value myself first, then others will also value me. Thursday and Friday, Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. This really is referring to the Akashic records. The hall of our Akashic records. Such an incredible space to be in. You know, and this is where we can access a higher intuition, our soul's blueprint, the pathway that we have preordained, pre-orchestrated for ourselves in this life. So when you are receiving that beautiful nudge, that gentle, intuitive nudge to go and do something that's fun, to go and be creative, to speak, you know, when your heart starts to race and you're in a conversation and there's something inside of you that's wanting to express itself and we squash it down. This is a reminder to you that when you are getting those light bulb moments, you might be in the shower, you might be washing the dishes. Water is such an powerful conduit for our intuition and our soul speak. So when you're receiving that, you're getting this beautiful little dream bubble of something that you could create or do, or an idea drops in, or you want to write something, or you want to speak something, or you want to create or start something new. The message for you is this is a powerful week for that guidance to be coming through to you and for you to be receptive of it. So listen to that. Write it down, journal it. You are not separate from Source. You are not separate from your soul. You are not separate from Mother Earth. And there's powerful, powerful energy around you at this time to remind you, to raise you up, to help you to remember the sacredness of who you are. Saturday and Sunday, leap. You go first, the universe will catch you. You know, too often we want a guarantee. Okay, universe, thank you for giving me this beautiful inspiration. You know, thanks for giving me the ideas. When I have a guarantee that I'm going to do this successfully, then I'll trust you and then I'll do something about it. This is not how the universe works, because otherwise we'd just sloth on our couches all day long and do nothing and wait for it all to come to us. This doesn't mean we can't manifest magical, amazing shit in our lives. We absolutely can. But we're taking that first step. We are firstly acknowledging the intuitive advice or guidance that we're receiving. That's a step. We're then thanking the universe for providing us with that. That's another step. Then we need to take some form of action to meet the universe halfway. The universe will support you in anything that you do when you trust in the flow and take action when the guidance is given to you. If you're receiving the inspiration and the intuitive voice of the universe to start your own business, to start a group, to create a circle, to get a new job, to step out of a relationship that's not serving you, and then you feel that, you get the tingles, you know in your heart that it's the right thing to do, it feels aligned, and then you do nothing about it, do you think it's going to happen? So you can say to the universe, thank you for revealing to me the next step to take. Thank you for showing me the right person to have this conversation with. Thank you for guiding me to the support that I need at this time to make these changes, to take this next step. The universe will show up when you show up. So show up. Thank you, universe. I'm here. I'm getting the message. I want to take action. Thank you for supporting me, providing me with the courage to take the next step. Hand on your heart. Would you like to know what it feels like and that it is possible for you to have the courage to live your dreams? Would you like to know that it is possible to speak your truth, to share your wisdom, to open your heart to hear the voice of the divine, the goddess, the God, goddess consciousness of all that is? Would you like to know that you are in alignment with the seasons and that you know when to rest your body and you know when to move your body? That you know how to say no and you know when to say yes? That you know what it feels like to have the support and the love and the confidence of the universe around you? You know what it feels like to live your life in effortless flow, that each step that you take is supported by our great Mother Earth, that each decision that you make is backed by the unlimited support and unconditional love of the universe. Say yes now. Take a deep breath in. I've just had the most amazing, incredible retreat weekend with some beautiful sisters, soul sisters that did not know each other before they arrived, and they have left with the most beautiful connection, bond, and friendship. It was just so honoring to witness that forming, and I know that they will remain friends for a lifetime. If you would like to experience that for yourself, I create beautiful retreat experiences here in my gorgeous Crystal Cave, soul created healing studio on Phillip Island. If you want to know more about that, please get in touch. I am also keynote speaker. I'm presenting at a beautiful Ultimate Girls Weekend away, I can't say it, in August in regional Victoria. And I will be presenting on something that is so sacred to me and so important in my life and underpins all of the work that I do, and it's self-love and it's empowerment through self-love. And I'm excited to be running a workshop also at that retreat. If you would like to know more about that, or you would love to join me, I will pop the link in the description of this video, and you'll also find it in the email that dropped in your inbox. Have a beautiful week. Really tune into the needs of your body, your heart, your mind, and your soul as we navigate the intensities again, once more, of the energies of the week ahead. So much love to you all. Namaste. Blessed be.